All right, welcome everybody to session 60 of Descent into Fernia. Who would like to give a recap?
Well, we went a lot of places and went actually nowhere. We went down the first hole, which was the one that we started the session by, and down yonder hole there was a there was a floor. There was a floor that kind of dropped off into a pool of acid, and presumably stomach acid. Uh, and and was it an acid elemental? Some sort of elemental came out of it.
Elemental asshole.
Yeah,
Jumped the line and went straight to the back.
Yeah, it came out and it just started spitting acid at us, and it was triggered or instigated because Ewan threw something into the pool before Blade could tell him that, wait, don't do that. There's movement. We eventually killed it, and then we went back up the way we came and went down the second hole. Yeah, but we did spend a while or some amount of time trying to figure out how we're going to get back past the macrophage spewing pillars. And we eventually landed on a wall. I think it was a wall of fire that like coated both sides that gave us like a hallway effectively to go through. We went down the second hole, and there was not an insignificant number of climbing checks to try to make it down, as each step we made or each further descent we made was like 60 feet or something. And we decided it was preferable to go down multiple iterations of 60-foot drops versus confront whatever living, writhing thing was near the bottom of the hole we descended through. And that's where my notes stop. I forgot. I think we got towards the bottom, but that's about as far as we got. But my memory could be.
We went down some levels, fought
Right,
some
there
more
was-
of these fucking shitheads.
And there was, at one point we went down another hole, and there was, I forget how it was described, but there was this hideous ball of something attached to like the back wall. And we then had to go down a series of what seemed to be sort of like giant steps, but it was always like 30-foot down per step. And we considered, or at least I considered, that this might be like the safest possible place to rest because it's relatively flat, like nothing's just gonna wander right up to you. But we went down to the bottom where we saw another hole ahead of us, and then we were attacked by these tentacled blood ooze type creatures.
That's right. Yeah, they fucked us up.
Yeah, actually Blade was killed, but Lux managed to pull out some epic life energy manipulation to restore Blade back.
That's right. See, what's the word? I blotted that out from memory because I wasn't around. It all went blurry around.
So you guys are continuing to work on descending down into the scab. As a reminder, you have some indication that the scab was created in response to something causing some kind of irritation or wound upon the land, something that disagreed with Fernia so greatly that it formed this scab around it, like a protective healing kind of creation. So you assume that the deeper down into the scab that you're able to go, the closer you'll be to whatever this is, and likely that is the source of where the ritual needs to be completed so that you can retrieve the obsidian crown. Which, just as once again as a reminder, you guys have been informed by Lacis from beyond and from dreams that she is in danger, and that by getting this crown, you would create a way for her to come back from being trapped in this land, the land of dreams, Dalcor, as well as with this object being required to some degree based on the prophecy in stopping Belshalor.
I forget, did Ewan meet Lacis? I know Lux did. I'm sure Blade didn't, and my character didn't.
Not in person, only in the dream.
Okay. Lux apparently is the anchor to this whole story.
Yes, being the only one that has managed to avoid death. So yeah, so you guys are, let me share the screen. Okay, so you guys are currently by the corpses of these creatures that you've just slain. As a reminder, they were coming from the walls and the floor. At one point during the battle, they were coming up from the floor and grabbed Ewan, trying to drag him down. Thankfully, he was able to avoid that. I think that you guys, this was the space that you rested, and then you went back up towards this direction. And I think you went and you saw some structures that were just like, don't really want to go that way. Let's go the other way. And but you also saw some concerning things going down that way as well. So
I don't
So you
remember
can
what was up
go-
there. I don't know if
you-
I ever actually saw anything up there. I don't remember what was up there.
I don't think we can go back the way we came. So we either have to go down this hole in front of us or press on forward. I don't recall what was down this hallway or if we've seen it yet.
I mean, there could be something on the other side of the large fucking thing up these levels. We didn't explore that closely.
No, but it seems as if going down is still our goal.
Right.
But we've also determined that sometimes you go down one of these holes and you find a dead end with an acid monster. So every hole is not necessarily going to be the path forward.
I mean, if that thing was the stomach, theoretically there was a hole at the bottom of it. But that would have, of course, require us to figure out how to not die in the acid. Anyway, we could just examine what's down here. I forget. Did Lux not go down this hole, or did we determine that it's
We were
too far
talking
down?
about Lux jumping down, but I don't remember that she did.
Yeah, she hadn't yet. And so you guys down here in this direction, you saw a massive structure similar to the ones that you saw before that released the macrophages, which is what
Right?
caused
But
you to-
wasn't it like a giant one?
Yes, which is why you guys decided to go here. These things are rather tall, and as a reminder, Ewan had, I believe, tried to use daggers to try and like slide down, or maybe that was Blade, to do so safely.
I did. That was me.
Okay. And so you would know from doing that, climbing up them is going to be more difficult than just kind of stabbing and climbing.
Mhm.
You know, so there are probably other ways of doing it. You could just have Lux jump up and then lower a rope. That could work, but yeah. Also, Tony, you wanna jump into the right game?
The what?
You
Your
wanna
name
jump into
is
the right game?
Zarius.
Oh, indeed. Yeah, hold
See, I wish Zarius made everybody pronounce his full name every time.
on.
Is it hash for Nixonin?
Yeah. Or
Get it right.
or dying, depending on your, what city you're from.
So you guys can climb up this way, and see about that structure. You can go down this hole, or you can travel up to see what is up there.
I have no desire to see what sort of creatures the giant version of those things releases. Some sort of gigaphage.
I agree.
So I would vote we at least attempt either the hole or walking down this hallway further.
I
The hole's right here.
can
We
you
can safely examine it somehow.
can you throw some of can one of you light an object and throw it down?
All I have are these.
I wouldn't mind. I mean, I could try to scout out ahead a little bit in the hallway, and hope that secrecy, or at least the soft padding of my metal feet on the pus, the pussy floor, scabby floor rather.
I will cast light on a copper coin and throw it in.
Okay. So you watch the coin tumble down about 30 feet. And it looks like the floor is very similar to the one that you're standing on currently. Within the light of the radius of the coin, you do see that a bit towards the north, there may be another hole leading down. But that is the only indication you can see of anything either going up or down.
Seems as safe as any of the others we've gone down.
Nothing tried to attack it, so this is a plus.
How far down?
30
30 feet.
Now we just need a safe way down.
I call not first or last.
Well, I think our usual method is still the most wise. Lux should probably jump down first.
All right.
So Lux, you're jumping down.
Take a quick look first to see if I notice anything.
Nothing more than what's already been described. So you see what looks to be the edge of a hole towards the north of where you would be landing. It's about 30 feet down. No features that you can see from the south. And I'll drop a torch down there so that you guys can have that. There it is. So you jumping down?
Yep.
Okay. So down, you see that the tunnels extend in both directions. The in the southerly direction, it seems to go on for a while, even farther beyond your dark vision can see. Same thing to the north. The only thing you see being this hole here.
Okay. So there's tell relay that there's another hole down here.
Do you see any bloody tentacles?
Not yet.
What do you see down the other hole?
I haven't been up to it yet.
I would like to make sure it's not a dead end before we all climb down.
Oh, is that the light? Oh, okay.
The light should be there.
Well, she has dark vision.
I know, but in case that
So
dash goes further
Lux,
than 60 feet.
as you get closer to the hole,
Mhm.
Something whip-like reaches out through the hole and attempts to attack you.
Of course it does.
So I will give you an initiative roll to see if you're able to react more quickly than this thing.
Okay. Let's see. I do have an action point. I think it's worth.
Okay. So you see this whip-like tendril shooting from the hole at you.
Okay. Can I jump back out of the hole? Because I have the ring of jumping.
You want to jump back up?
Yep.
Can you remind me what? Okay, wait. Let's do it this way. Because the ring of jumping doubles your jump, correct? So there it is, house rules. Wait, no, it's not that into there. Actions, that's it. Jump. So what's your dexterity modifier? It's 5, right?
Yep.
So 8.
With a running start, so 10 feet of movement, she could jump up to 24 feet up. But if she uses a Kai point, she could double that to 48.
Yeah. So you would need to use a Kai point to use Step of the Wind in order to get back up. I would say you'd be able to do it easily without needing a check.
That's what I shall do.
Okay.
Jumps too high and bangs into the ceiling.
I kind of imagine myself like peering over the edge just to look out for anything, and in case she needs help, I can, if she jumps up, I can try and grab her.
Okay. So you managed to escape whatever it was that lashed out at you.
Is there some sort of problem? There's no chance my character would have seen the tendril like 30 feet down. So he doesn't know why you
This
jumped out.
tendril came out after me, so I jumped back up here.
Seems to be a tendril in every hole in this damn place. Did it look massive? Was it something that we could reasonably contend with if we had to?
I don't think we may have to contend with it.
Well, we could try going straight as well.
We at least know that a tendril may not lie in that direction. It is worth taking at least scouting it out a bit.
Yeah.
Although I'm not exactly sure what to use on it, but do you know where in the hole was this thing that lashed out at you?
I'm just
If
assuming
it's-
that
If it's close to the surface, maybe we can figure out where it is and attack it from here.
I don't know. I'm assuming it was pretty large and it took up the whole hole.
So, it was not that large, but it moved very quickly. So Lux, give me, let's see, what skill would make most sense to recall. Give me a perception check to see what you could make out from the thing.
13.
That's good enough. So the girth of the tendril was probably about I don't know, several inches in radius. So fairly thick cable-like tendril. You notice that there were spikes or a claw or something at the end of it. And from what you could see, it was coming from within the hole, but you couldn't see like
Right.
how deeply or where it was anchored or what it may have been anchored to.
It moved fast. It was fairly thick and had spikes or a claw at the end.
I will squint down into the hole, see if I can make out anything.
Yeah, I would say even if you rolled a nat 20, you wouldn't be able to see much just because of no, go ahead and give me a perception check.
Yeah, I think your ruling was fair the first time.
No, but I mean, I'm reconsidering it because of the way the angles. If you like stuck your head into the hole, you would be able to see a bit farther. Because I was just thinking like the area immediately around the hole that you're looking through. But so you
You
do
may
see
like hold you by the ankles and lower you down a little bit further.
So you can see the edge of the hole. You can see that it looks like it goes fairly deep, but it is dark down there. So it's just a inky blackness that you can see. You can't see any evidence of anything, at least around the edge or the rim, that might be attached to this thing or that this thing might be attached to. So unless it's immediately on the underside, like of the flooring, it's probably deep or some depth beyond the hole.
So unless we have means of getting all of us down there at once, I worry about us going one at a time.
Then perhaps we should explore the rest of this hallway.
Yeah.
I can walk ahead a little bit. Scout it out.
I don't think I'm as quiet as you, but I'm still pretty quiet. I can at least come with you. I'm also fucking disadvantaged because of goddamn exhaustion.
Oh yeah, that's right. I am too. But I have a plus 13 in stealth, so
I got a +6, so I'm like not quite halfway there.
so yeah, we'll start inching our way. Being very careful not to touch the walls, get too close to the walls.
Okay.
Gingerly step over the corpse of the blood tentacle things.
I mean, before you leave, are any of us here not stealthy? Because I feel like it's a lot of dexterity characters. I'm pretty stealthy.
I mean,
I-
I'm not that stealthy.
Okay.
So Blade and Ewan, go ahead and roll me stealth checks.
Yes, fuck that disadvantage.
Okay. So
Stealth bros right here.
You're fairly confident that you are doing well at minimizing your sound and staying to the shadows as best you can.
Well, there's no real shadows here, unfortunately.
Well, not yet, but I mean,
The
soon.
tubes are lit.
Oh,
Yeah, that's going to be a little stealth problem.
yeah.
I can't see. Can Vegmog see in the dark? Or Blade?
No, he cannot.
Listen, everything here seemed to be just aware. I didn't see any eyes on fucking anything that we've fought. So I think light I don't think is going to be the factor here.
That's fair. That's
Yep.
fair. So regardless of how visible that you might be making yourselves, your sound profile is fairly quiet.
That's what I'm going for here. Make contact with as little as possible. All right, let's keep moving.
Yeah, tell me when.
No, you're good.
There's these.
Oh yeah, there's.
Yeah, that's right. There's these things. Yeah, I think this is why we didn't go down the hallway. Because we're like, oh, we'll take our chance at the hole. Screw those macrophages.
Listen, at this point, if we die, we die. All right.
It's a pretty cavalier attitude.
It is easy for you to say because you have not died yet. I died like 10 minutes ago.
You're still here, so I don't think you're dead.
Oh, part of me died that day. 10 minutes ago.
Well, tell me about it later. Let's get moving. S- Get real close to the wall. Try not to touch it though.
Now, I'm gonna try like Blade's gonna try a theory where maybe the macrophages are triggered by movement. So he's going to be very, very slow
Okay.
getting through this section, like velociraptors.
Okay. Give me an acrobatics
Famously
check
slow.
to see how well you're able to control your movements.
Sure. I don't have that going for me. Acrobatics? Nuh-uh.
So it literally, to Ewan's perspective, looks like Blade is moving in slow motion. Like
He's
his
gone invisible. I can't
the
see him anymore.
Yeah. And it's bizarre because the smoothness of his motion seems to still be natural, and his balance seems to still be just as good as you would expect, but it's just so slow.
But is it though? He only got a 16 because he has a disadvantage.
Oh, that's true. Okay, so it's not quite as hectic.
And I was just about to say,
That's
man,
what
that
Blade's thinking in his mind.
PC must have been 10 or something.
Just like Drac.
He's got that machine precision, or at least he thinks he does.
I'm just standing there. I stopped. I'm like, what are you doing?
Be quiet. They may be triggered by movement. Go slowly.
I am a leaf on the wind.
So if that's the case, I'm just gonna like, man. Now I don't know. Yeah, I'll keep moving. I was gonna stop and just like watch.
Alright, so now
Yeah.
you see another structure ahead.
Oh yeah, that's right. We got to we saw this wall of macrophages, and then we're like, oh, I'll turn around.
Yeah. Stick.
To stay
Try our best to stick close to this wall here.
until they get you. Move slower, Ewan. You must move with machine precision.
If asked to make the roll, I would request an athletics because I have such I have just like overwhelming control of my muscles.
I will keep that in mind.
Good.
Look, another hole.
Wait. We're nearing the edge of the map.
There's probably more holes. You
I
just
can
can't see
just
them.
barely see the wall here. Shit.
Let's peer inside. And Blade is going to, try to get as close as he can to see something.
Okay. So with you and standing where he is, there's not really a whole lot that you can see because since you don't have dark vision, it's pitch black down there.
I stood here for a moment waiting just to see if anything fucking hopped out at us. And if I see nothing, then I will edge forward.
You see nothing. So
Lean ever so slightly over the hole
yeah,
here.
yeah, you need to have your chesticles like kind of
Yeah.
out,
I figured.
pointing
figured.
towards the hole to illuminate the space beyond.
Mhm.
I kind of imagine like you're like a seal, like like with your hands propping yourself up and just sticking your chest out over the edge of the hole. Um. So as Ewan positions his luminous tubes to be able to provide appropriate lighting, you see that this hole, it's about probably 25-30 feet deep, and it leads to another space. And it seems that this barrier is maintained. So the only way to, once down the hole, the only way that you would have is to go southwards.
Okay.
Can we see anything like through do the tubes illuminate? Does it just look like there's a floor down there?
You can see the floor and it looks the same as the floor that you're walking on. There's no other features that you see that are noticeable.
Well, I don't see any tentacles, so this one has a +1 compared to the other hole. We should go tell the others.
If only there was an easy way to do that. From here.
Well, if you want to just describe your characters going back to join the group without actually moving your tokens, you could do that.
It's the other players coming through here, causing problems for us that I have to, you know. Yeah, I mean, we just sneak our way back through. I mean, the way we came,
Yeah,
most likely.
yeah. That Blade would be Blade would be sure that the macrophages are triggered by movement. So he would make sure to tell everybody in excruciating detail how slow to go.
Okay. So go ahead and give me stealth checks to see how well you're able to manage yourselves on the way back.
I'm not so stealthy this time.
Sorry about that. Okay. So, Blade, you feel pretty confident in your movements. Ewan, you do as well. Whether it's earned confidence or not,
I don't
soon
think. No,
be
I do not.
But
Confident
yeah,
enough.
yeah.
At the
but
last moment, Ewan sneezes. Has to pause.
So, and I'll just put a torch here just so that for ease. But you guys make it down back, and here, you know what? I'll just move you guys over here real quick. There, that's easier. So you guys make it back with no problems.
So what did you see?
Another hole over there.
We did not. It just looked like a floor, about the same distance as from the same distance as this hole to the ground. But yeah, we did not see anything inside. So no tentacles that we could see. So that is a plus.
At least it looked like it came back this direction, so, but it could obviously turn before it gets to us. So I'm not sure. I don't know if it comes back to this hole or not.
Yeah, we would be all on one floor then. So not being picked off one by one sounds good to me.
So you just have to be careful. There is a one of those macrophage pillars. But the key
Walls.
is to be very stealthy. Move with machine precision. And Blade will proceed to demonstrate what that looks like. Which is just him trying to moonwalk, really.
Is Blade doing the robot?
Blade's more like Bender. How the hell are you guys doing that?
He is, but very slowly.
Well, it seems to be our only option, so I suppose we'll follow you since you did it successfully before.
And yeah, so I guess we'll head back.
I'll follow, I guess, whoever's in second position. Ewan, I guess. Oh, I can't move that one.
All right. So everybody make me stealth checks.
Nice.
Nice.
I'll use a fucking action point. That just seems too low. Fucking God.
You can choose to use the 8. You don't have to use 7.
Oh boy, one more. This is not a natural 1.
Right, it's not a critical fail. You crit fail, catch on fire, start screaming.
How did he catch on fire? Nobody touched him.
The tube shorted.
Sure. I've made this trek twice. Suddenly I can't do it.
So, Ewan, what do you imagine your poor stealth check looks like? Like how do you envision Ewan failing it so badly?
Yes, describe us your failure.
Um, I don't even know. Because what am I to trip on? Like maybe I
How
trip
about-
on something, but
How about you were helping me because I'm so bad at stealth? and you were backpedaling and you tripped or something.
But you got an actual 20.
Yeah, because you were helping me.
What about your
Okay.
pet?
Yeah, my pet did not do great. So
I was trying to help the pet, and we both didn't do great.
All right. So, Pantone, not being used to you guys because you're still essentially strangers, you touch Pantone in a way that makes the creature uncomfortable, and it snaps at you.
Where's this going?
And you pull your hand away, but you still find your one of your fingers being caught in its jaws, and it bites down on you, causing a bit of bleeding. No like hit point damage, but you can't help but yelp, "Son of a bitch!"
Blade turns and gives you
The hell?
the death stare.
And Pantone kind of hisses at you and warning.
Don't make noises at me.
Be quiet.
He started it.
I try to console Pantone and try to calm him down as best I can.
Give me an animal handling check with advantage. Unless you're exhausted, then with just
I'm not.
okay. All right. So you are able to calm Pantone down, and she responds to you and kind of nuzzles against you, demonstrating that she's okay now. Aside from that, nothing happens. You guys kind of sit and pause, holding your breaths, and there's no change.
Blade will move forward with machine precision. Towards the edge of the gaping chasm.
All right, so you guys all get there. Anybody that looks down sees the same thing that Ewan and Blade saw when they first approached.
So try it again. See what happens this time.
I don't think we've come up with a better way of getting down, so I think we have to.
Yeah, I think this time I'm gonna stand at the edge and keep an eye out too. So if something does go wrong, I at least have eyes down there too. You said it heads sort of south, like the way we came underneath us, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm gonna stand at like this end, sort of looking southward down.
Okay. So who's going first?
Right. Everyone just kind of looks. I would imagine that everyone looks at Lux, but Blade definitely just looks towards Lux.
Right. Lux can go down last because she can get down on her own. we still need to lower the heaviest of us first. Probably with Ewan being the strongest of us standing up here with us to help lower that person. So I would think that would be Blade. Unless you can glide down again.
Would be a tight squeeze. Probably would just be better to be lowered. So I guess Blade will go down first then.
Okay. Oh, but
I would assume I'm helping to
Right.
lower.
okay.
I am good. I don't see anything down here. Just more hallway and darkness.
And you said it's about 30 feet, you said?
Yeah.
Any roll I gotta make, or
No.
we lower Vegnog down, wait a moment to see if there's any screaming.
Pantone's gonna go fly down with him.
Okay.
Screaming and yelping.
The Pantone and Blade are both down there. So far.
Okay.
Nothing happens.
I vote I go next since I've been dropped 2, I think 3 times. But that's just me saying that.
All right, you go next. You've been dropped a couple times now.
So now, because is anybody helping Ewan lowering
Yeah.
these people down? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured we all were, sorry.
So then you have 3 people still lowering. So yeah, you'd be good. So Melodia can go down, no problem.
And as soon as Melodia even requested that, I probably would have looked at me and Lux and then over at Ewan, because this is the part I was now imagining when Lux and me have to lower Ewan down on a rope.
Mm,
So, before any of that happens, from beyond the darkness, too quickly to see, a whip is
Comes
thrown
out
out, at Melodia.
gosh.
And
As
Melodia,
punishment
because
for going
Dropper.
through.
because it's coming from the darkness,
do have-
unlike the situation with Lux, you don't have time to react. So you won't
Okay.
get the contest with the initiative.
I mean, I do have dark vision.
My light doesn't
Yes, but
reach down there.
Okay.
oh, you know what? You have the alert feat though.
Yes, I do.
I
And
would
also
allow,
and also the sword of warning.
yes,
But yes,
it's
as
just
we said,
always
this whole
screaming
place
at
is
you.
warning. Yeah, it's constantly beeping in my ear.
So since you have the alertness feat, I would allow you to roll initiative.
Okay.
Okay. So you are able to act first. What do you do?
Um crying's a free action, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'm first gonna, well, my as a free action, I'm gonna warn everyone there's tentacles here. Then I don't know.
Tentacles.
Yeah, just screaming tentacles.
Which coincidentally is what
Is
your
it
sword
like
screams at you
is
constantly.
it like is it like right in front of me, or is it
So it's coming at you.
okay?
So I would say you can attempt to attack it with disadvantage. And you'd only be able to get one attack in
Yeah.
just because of the speed of everything happening and because it's so fast.
Now, and I'll admit I'm a little rough on these rules. Can I do like a dodge action? Can I
You
like
can. Yeah,
okay.
you can take the dodge action.
How would I, is that just dex or what is
You
that?
just no, you just say you're taking the dodge action, and then
Okay.
attacks against you have disadvantage until the start of your next turn.
I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna take the dodge action.
Okay. So now this thing lashes out at you. Does a 21 hit?
Yes, it does.
Okay. So you take it's doubling it because of the
Crit.
the crit. So you take 7 piercing damage, 5 acid damage, and you are grappled.
Awesome.
And it then so you automatically take the clasper's damage now that you're grappled by it, and it makes 3 attacks. So you also take 12 piercing damage and 3 acid, and then another 6 piercing damage and 6 acid. And then
Okay.
it drags you 10 feet.
Hang on to the rope.
So now that that's happened, everybody can roll initiative. Oh, we still have the previous initiative in there. Let me get rid of. So branded 1, you're in there already. Melody, you're in there. So before everybody rolls, let me clear people out. Okay, everyone go ahead and roll initiative. Remember to click your token first.
Nice.
Lux, did you roll initiative?
Not yet. It's just moving slow.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
All right. So Melody is up, Lux on deck, branded 1 in the hole.
I'm gonna attempt to break the grapple, I guess. I think that's all I can do.
Okay. So that would be an action to either do acrobatics or athletics.
I will do athletics, definitely.
Okay. All right. So you managed to break the grapple.
Okay. And that's my entire turn, I'm assuming?
That's your action.
Or my action, okay. And then
once the grapple is broken,
Mhm.
the thing quickly whips back out into the darkness.
Okay. I'm immediately gonna back up as far as I can. And yep, that's all I'm gonna do. I'll get my bow ready. I'll just train it at the darkness, even just readying a shot that I've not actually ready in action, but just getting ready.
Okay. Is Pantone doing anything?
No, absolutely. He's not going to charge the darkness.
All right. Lux is up, branded one on deck, blade in the hole.
We're still doing the rope thing, right? So I'm just holding on the rope, looking at you and going, "You ready?"
Is she down or is she like midair?
Who, Melodia?
Melodia, I mean.
Oh, Melodia was already down on the ground.
Okay.
I'm just gonna hold my action. If I see the things like go by the hole or something and grab somebody again, I might jump down and try to hit it, but
Okay.
Well, I'm next down the hole, so
Yeah, though having heard tentacles, and I assume there was something of a commotion from down the hole.
Yeah.
I would have dropped the rope and moved over like here. I assume we were actually over here. I guess I don't know where we lowered her, but you know, I'm imagining the creature was sort of coming off from this direction. But I'm gonna go there and you know, look down the hole. Is there any light down there?
No.
Yeah, I don't think so.
The only light that you
See,
have are
yeah.
the tubes.
So I'm gonna just pull one of my daggers out from my belt and cast light on it and flick it down like as far as I can in this direction. Like
Okay.
I say that, but like, you know, with the lip of this thing over here, it's gonna be like 30 feet, the maximum normal range or something.
Okay. So we'll say you're able to get it right about there.
And that would actually be my turn. So I was gonna ready an action, but I couldn't see anything, so
Okay. Blade, you're up.
So is the tentacle actively gripping Pantone?
No, Pantone, or
No.
I mean, Melodia escaped, but the moment that the grapple was broken, the tentacle receded back into the darkness.
Okay. Blade is going to draw his he's gonna draw his actually you know, that's what he's gonna do. He's gonna pull out he's gonna don his shield.
Okay. So that's an action to don your shield.
Yeah. And as I think it's
And you should have a spot on there where you can click the shield to have the AC increase by 2.
yep. And he's going to can he also just is it a free action or an object I guess would be maybe an object interaction. He's gonna have his sword that's in his arm retract.
Yeah, that's an object interaction, so you can do that.
And would I be in a position to I guess I would use eye for detail. So I'm going to try to see if I can, if I notice anything that might give clues to what this is besides a tentacle creature.
Okay. I will say that unfortunately, because of the lighting conditions, there's not enough that you can see that even a perfect perception check would reveal.
Okay. Then I guess that's going to be my turn. And maybe move a little closer to Melodia.
Okay. Now, granted that that is the case, I would say that you would be aware of that before using the ability. So if you had something else you wanted to spend your bonus action doing, you could do that.
Not really.
Okay.
So that will be my turn.
Okay. And then from the darkness, the tentacle once more whips out, this time at Blade. And that is a critical. But it is not a confirmed critical, so it's just double damage. So you take 14 acid damage or 14 piercing damage, 8 acid damage, and you are grappled. And then because you're grappled, these attacks automatically hit. So you take another 14 piercing damage and 7 acid damage.
Let's see. The first one was 14 piercing and 8 acid.
The first one was 14 piercing and 8 acid. And then you took another 14 piercing damage total and another 11 acid damage. So total of 28 piercing damage and 8, 12, 19 acid damage.
Yeah, well, you know, Blade's live streak didn't last very long, so he's down.
Well, you're in vitality. You're still alive.
Yeah. He's out of hit points.
And you are pulled back 10 feet. Now, at this point, Lux, everything was moving so quickly, but because of how it all went down, you can now act because you were holding your action, correct?
Yeah, I'm going to jump down there and try to hit this thing.
Okay. So let me just change because now your initiative, because you were holding your action, is going to be just after this creature. So that's going to be 16.13.
Is this thing a fiend?
It is not.
Damn.
All right, so you're jumping down, Lux,
Yeah.
and then you're gonna go up and try to attack it.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and give me your attacks.
All right. I'm gonna make that I'm gonna try to do a stunning strike.
Okay. What's the DC?
14, it made it.
Okay. So, but it takes 10 damage. That also hits.
Okay. Okay, my last attack.
And that hits.
And I'm gonna burn another, try to stun that with that one too.
Okay. It is stunned. Anything else you're doing?
Yeah, if I have movement, I'm gonna step. Let's see. Come on. Step one more, like. I'm gonna step like 15 feet away from it.
Okay.
Still within reach, but I can.
Okay. Ewan is up. Melody on deck. Branded one in the hole.
Well, it somewhat worked out for me last time, so double dagger.
Wait, double dagger onto what? There's not a wall.
What do you mean? There's no wall at all?
It's a
Okay.
hole, you gotta jump.
It's just a straight hole. Okay.
Yeah.
God damn it.
He jumps in and discovers there's no wall.
Shit. Not what I was imagining. Okay.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
not like an esophagus connecting the two floors.
how far down is it again?
25 feet.
Can I see this tentacle thing?
Yeah, it's attached to blade.
Can I hop down on it?
You can attempt it.
So I can't tell where Blade is in the hole from the hole. So I don't know exactly where he's at.
Right.
So
You can see
in
it.
ra-
You can see it on the shared screen where he is.
Oh yeah, I kind of see.
yeah, in
I don't know where the
relation
hole is.
to like where the hole is compared to where blade is, blade would probably be right about here.
Okay.
So if you wanted to do that, you would need to move probably to the other side of the hole and jump this way. Unless you wanted to try and do like
I feel like
a
maybe I can
hand
hang down and then
like something like that. But I would need a pretty substantial athletics check to see how well you're able to execute that.
listen. I mean, what the fuck else am I gonna do up here? I mean, I have a boom. I don't feel like a boomerang would be effective in this specific situation.
Okay.
So yeah, here we go. Athletics it is.
Okay. So you're not able to land on it, but you do manage to avoid landing prone. You do still take
Mhm.
some fall damage. So you're gonna take only 2 fall damage.
Nice.
I
And
still have temporary hit points.
you'll land right there, right next to blade. Or maybe here if you want.
Sure. Is this tentacle here?
It is here and running all the way down, connecting to Blade. It is, though it is stunned, it is still grappling him because the stunned condition, I don't think that would end the grapple necessarily.
He just can't maintain the grapple if he tries to break free because he can't make the check normally.
Right, but it's not a check, it's a DC. So
What's it connected to?
it's beyond the darkness.
So it's just a long ass fucking tentacle.
Yes.
Okay. I kind of feel like, because I don't really have like good like attacking daggers.
I was hoping for a tug of war where you drag the thing in.
Yeah, I mean that was the other idea. It's like maybe I can just fucking grab this thing.
Well, don't you still have the Kopeshis?
Maybe. I think I don't have them in my list here.
Yeah, you have them. The Shadow
Yeah.
Masters
Yeah, they're down
Kopeshis.
there. Yeah. Oh yeah, I haven't been using them because my charisma modifier is shit.
Are you attuned to them though? Because
Nope.
it requires attunement.
Definitely not.
Okay. So they're magical weapons, but you wouldn't be able to benefit from any of those other magical abilities.
Are Kopesh's simple weapons?
They're considered short swords.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Anyway. Yeah, let me just fucking grab this tentacle and start pulling on it.
Hell yeah.
Okay. So
Blade serving as faithful anchor.
Why is grapple not on here? Damn it, I didn't do it right. Okay. So you're gonna make an attack roll.
An attack roll.
Yeah, an unarmed strike.
Oh my strikes.
Okay, so that's a hit. So now you are considered grappling it, but it doesn't do the damage.
Sure. Okay. And then I start pulling as much as I can yet for this turn. Maybe I could pull it a couple of feet, but
Okay, give me an athletics check. Okay. You are trying to pull it. You're getting some slack, but not very much. It is whatever it is, even though it's stunned, it's still resisting to some degree. Like it is very taut.
sure.
So you're pulling it from the darkness, right?
Yeah,
In
yeah,
that
I'm
direction, you're
pulling
not
towards
pulling it.
us.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So you pull it a little bit
Okay.
and create some slack in the part of the tentacle between you and Blade.
I mean, I guess technically I have like 2 attacks. Can I just like keep pulling it?
So that I'm considering that
Sure.
attack was the
Oh, okay.
athletics check.
All right. Yeah, then I'm good.
Okay.
I'm gonna keep holding this thing as long as I can.
All right.
Unless it starts pulling me into the darkness, then I'll let go. Well, I bring the light with me, but anyway.
Melodia, you're up.
All right, I'm going to make a attack on the tentacle with my longbow.
Okay. Hit.
Okay. And immediately after that, I'm going to cast Hunter's Mark on it. And because I've damaged it now, I can get emits a faint trail, so I can easily track it. So if it does recede back into the darkness, I should know, at least have an idea where it goes and where it's coming from.
Okay.
And then I'm going to take my second attack.
Okay. That's a miss.
Okay. I want I want Pantone to maybe go up there and maybe try to help Ewan anchor this and keep on pulling with a bite attack and just to help with the grapple.
Okay.
Is that just an attack, like run up there and attack?
So yeah, you have Pantone go. Pantone makes an attack, but it won't do damage. And if it hits, then Pantone also is considered grappling it.
Okay.
That's a miss.
Okay.
But it's stunned. Doesn't he have advantage?
Oh, that's right. So that hits.
Okay.
So now Pantone is also grappling it. Anything else you're doing?
What kind of action is it for me to take a health potion? So like an
Object interaction in my games.
I'm sorry, what is that? Can I take a health potion right now, or do I have to wait for my next turn?
Okay.
No,
you can take one now.
I'm gonna do that.
Okay. Branded one is up. Blade on deck. Monster in the hole.
So how big is this tentacle? Like it's been described as a whip. It's been described as a tentacle. So I'm not sure what I'm supposed to envision.
So it is probably the thickness of it is probably just slightly smaller than your head.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is, forming sort of a line from, I could see the line it's kind of making.
Mhm.
I am just going to off into the darkness, not knowing how big this creature is, but not actually trying to hit the tentacle itself, but wherever the tentacle is leading, fire a ray of frost.
Okay. So you do need line of sight. So, but you're just firing at the thing. So you have line of sight of it. So that hits regardless.
That's my turn.
Okay. Blade, you're up.
Blade's just gonna try to cut away from this from the tentacle. It gets stunned, but I'm assuming it's still wrapping him.
Yes, it is still grappling you.
Yeah, so he's gonna try to break the grapple.
Okay. So you can use your action to make an athletics or acrobatics check. Okay. So you're able to break the grapple.
And
at the minute that the grapple is broken, Ewan and Pantone feel a sudden pull as whatever is anchoring this thing is trying to yank it back. So each of you give me an athletics check.
It doesn't look like Pantone has athletics.
Just click on strength.
Strength. Okay.
Okay. So neither of you are able to hold on to it, and it retracts back into the darkness.
slipped out of my fingers. Shit.
Uh,
I got like fists up ready in case this motherfucker comes at us again.
Can I see where it went?
It went back into the darkness.
Well, yeah, I mean with my hunter's mark. Here,
So it gives you advantage on wisdom and perception checks. So what you see is you see a faint trail into the darkness.
okay,
But you don't know where it's going.
okay,
Like if you were to follow it into the darkness,
got it.
you'd be able to do so quite easily, but it doesn't really give you very much information because it's basically you're seeing a glow in the
Got it.
darkness.
Okay,
Blade's gonna use his bonus action for insightful fighting.
There's nothing that you can see for insightful fighting. It's not.
Not now, but like wouldn't Blade have been able to judge the movements while being wrapped by the thing?
Can you post the insightful fighting
Sure.
ability? You have to be able to see the creature. A creature you can see. You can't see it right now.
Gotcha. All right. Then I'm going to Blade is going to hobble his way back by Melodia
to the injured corner.
to the injured, yeah, to the sin bin.
Okay. So it's the monster's turn, but it's still stunned. It's no longer stunned at the end of Lux's turn. So Lux, you are up. You and on deck, Melodia in the hole. And I'm still here. I'm just getting a drink, so I'm still listening though.
Okay, but it's gone into the darkness.
Yes.
Okay. Hmm. I'll just hold my action in case it comes back out again. I'll try to strike it.
Okay. So Ewan is up, Lodi on deck, and Brandon one in the hole.
Everybody backed up. I might do something similar. I'll just back up a tad. But like still staying more in front of everybody. I guess shit, where's the hole at? I want to be just
hole?
just the hole above us.
Oh.
I want to be just ahead of the hole, so that
Je-
when Brandon one comes down, he's not like in front of me.
just for convenience sake, I'm gonna put a. Oh wait a minute, I did it wrong. Put a torch up there, so you can see that. So you're in a good spot. That's just in front of the hole.
Cool. I'll be here and I'll dodge.
Okay.
That's it.
Melodia, branded one, then Blade.
Pantone is going to move back here. And I'm going to ready an action if the tentacle appears.
What are you readying? What
My
action?
sorry, my bow.
Okay. Okay. Branded one.
I am readying another ray of frost in case it whips out again.
Okay. Blade.
Blade. He's gonna ready his shield in a defensive manner, and he has a sword out, and he's gonna attack if it reaches out and grabs Melodia or him. Basically,
Okay.
if it comes near
So
him.
you're readying an action.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. So once more from the darkness, it whips out, this time at Ewan. And it has disadvantage because you are dodging, correct?
Mhm.
It's 20 hit.
Yeah, still hits.
Okay. So you take 14 piercing and 5 acid damage. You are grappled. You also take the damage 2 more times. So another 19 piercing and 15 acid damage. And then it pulls you 10 feet. And this time, the thing unleashes a noxious gas. And
So one of those hits will definitely trigger this for me.
and Ewan is invisible or can't be seen.
So don't our ready actions go off before that?
So normally, well, okay, I'll let the readied actions go off before the noxious gas goes off.
And for Hunter's Mark, is this a beast or fiend? I think you said it wasn't a fiend.
No, but it is a beast.
It is. Okay.
So, ooh,
Damn it.
okay, so it's not a confirmed crit, but it is a crit. So you do
32
six,
damage. Oh, 16, you're right. I'm not doubling it.
okay, so, and then that hits Melodia. Um, and then do you want to use your second attack?
Oh, I can do both on right
Yeah.
action? Oh, I thought it was only one. Okay.
So
Uh,
when you're holding your action, normally it's, and you use your reaction to do it. Normally you can only ready an action.
Okay.
But I allow person to ready any part of their turn.
Okay.
So in
I-
any part or whole. So yeah, you can do another attack.
Don't have to tell me twice. Well,
Yes. And then Lux, you were holding your action, correct?
Yeah, but I think it was out of my reach when it grabbed you in. It was
Okay.
like 20 feet as opposed to 15.
Okay. So you guys, all of your attacks go off, which then puts your initiative slightly different now. So um and then so you guys get your ready to actions off, and it spews out this noxious gas cloud. And so the area is heavily obscured. Ewan, you're the only one in the cloud, so you are considered poison, and your speed is halved while you're in this cloud.
Technically, all the light sources down there are in the cloud. So
Oh yeah, so that's gone. Um,
So you're saying this cloud doesn't just glow from inside?
no. And then also it looks like Vegnog, or looks like you're glowing as well. Did somebody cast light on you?
maybe last session.
It's possible.
Yeah, he shouldn't be glowing.
Okay.
His complexion's not that good.
So yeah, immediately all of the light sources down there are now extinguished. So not only is that area heavily obscured, but now there's darkness that's even more heavily obscuring it.
Now, so here's a question. Is it like extinguished, like put out, or is it just like, can I still like look down and see glowing?
Um,
Like, how fucking thick is this cloud? Like, can I not see in front of my face? Right in front of my face?
you can see very little. You can see a little bit of a glow, but the cloud is thick enough that beyond the edge of the cloud, that glow is not as visible.
Okay. As long as it's still there, I don't have to spend a goddamn action to put it back up again.
No, because yeah, it's not destroying the light effect, it's just obscuring it.
Got it. Good to know.
All right, so Branded one used your action. Melodia, you used your action. So now Lux is up, Ewan on deck, Blade in the hole.
Hmm. I mean, I could shoot into the cloud, but there's a chance I could hit Ewan.
Mm-hmm.
The perfect opportunity to attack the darkness.
Right.
I mean,
Well, I should be able to see a little bit with my dark vision.
Yeah, you would see that on your own screen, not on the shared screen. So if you have dark vision, it may be more helpful to look at your own screen.
Yeah. And my goggles don't let me see into the cloud, do they? Just give me advantage on perception checks.
That's correct.
Okay.
was there an apparent source for this cloud?
The claw that was grabbing onto you.
Oh, it was a claw? I thought it was a tentacle.
Yeah,
Or like it was
but
like a weird
it
claw
ends
thing.
it
Yeah.
ends in like
Yeah.
claws
I
or
remember now.
spikes or something grabby.
Hmm.
Run around the cloud.
I'm gonna take Marar out. At least that will give. Well, it extinguishes all non-magical flames within 30 feet of me, but it sheds bright light in 10-foot radius and dim light an additional 10.
Okay. So I will make you glow.
Sorry.
Anything else you want to do, Peter?
I'm gonna move. Over here so these guys can at least get in some of my light.
Okay. Okay. Ewan, you're up. Blade on deck, monster in the hole.
All right. So it still has me grappled, presumably.
It does, yes.
And it was basically trying to pull me towards it. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm just gonna run towards it.
Okay.
Like I got the direction to go with the tentacle. Book it. I can't tell where I'm at anymore, so
So I'm going to say this. If you do that, you're giving the creature the movement that it wants to pull you.
right. Well, so here's the thing. It's either
And
try,
if
probably
you
fail to pull
if-
out.
right, but if you do that and you're not happy with where it pulls you, you're not going to be able to stop it.
Sure. I'm not happy sitting in this cloud either. So, and the check necessary to get out, I have disadvantage on. So,
Well, okay, so here's the thing with grapple with the new rules is you'll get an automatic attempt to break the grapple as a saving throw at the end of your turn.
uh-huh.
So it'll be a strength saving throw or dexterity saving throw.
Does it feel like I could just pull my way backwards?
Wait,
I
what do you
couldn't
mean?
pull it before. To get out of the fucking cloud. That's what I'm trying to get to do here. I don't want to be
Right,
in the
so-
cloud.
So technically,
Or
you're
dangerous
the,
in the cloud. At least I could hit it if I'm in front of it.
right. Technically, the rule changes if you're doing the grappling or are the one grappled. But I understand your point. I've always sort of wondered about that in
Mhm.
some cases like this, where
Yeah,
essentially it has you right where you wanted it in the first place. And vice versa, because it would like to throw
Right.
you
It
in
wants
and
me
eat you.
there. I want it there. Let's just fucking get to it, you know? At least then I could fucking hit it.
okay. So you're gonna give in to the pull.
Give it. I'm running at it. I'll
Okay.
tackle the motherfucker if I need to.
No, here's what happens. And this is all invisible to everybody else. Nobody else knows this is happening because nobody else can see you.
Until it pulls me out of the cloud.
Even,
Even once you're out of the cloud, you'll be on the dark side of the cloud.
I am the light. So it'll be lit
Right,
from the
but
other side.
So Brandon one is like 30 feet up, so he might be able to see like the light appear on the far side of the cloud. But
Yeah,
the
there's
people on
no
the
way like
far-
we're going to be able to. Yeah.
right. They're essentially just behind this lightless surface.
and
They might see like a faint glow if perhaps they could notice that on the
And you-
walls.
yeah. And this is not going to be a controlled run because as part of the grappled condition, your speed is 0 right now.
Sure.
You have no control over where you go. If you give into it, you're not a controlled run running towards it. You're not like, I'm coming at you, motherfucker. You want me? Here I am. This is you in an uncontrolled free fall heading towards whatever it's pulling you to.
Uncontrolled, controlled. All right.
Okay, I just want to make sure that you are
Tomato,
fully
tomato.
aware of this the what is happening as you make this decision.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and I just want to remind you of the meta rule that if the DM tells you like 8 times, are you sure?
Are you
Listen,
sure you want to run
I've
to the
I
Sarlacc pit?
tried once and failed to pull backwards. It did not work.
Okay.
Like I don't know what to say. I don't like this is you and stuff process. I can't fucking pull the thing. Might as well
No,
go and hit
It makes sense. It makes sense in you and logic.
it.
But as the person seeing everything that's happening beyond what you're aware of,
Sure.
all right, everybody prepare to level
Here
up.
comes the boomerang.
All right,
Here comes the boomerang.
So Ewan,
Yep.
and once again, nobody else can see this. You give in. You try to run towards it, but as you do, you find that your feet fail you because it is pulling you so quickly and so fast. And you leave the cloud and you are pulled like within the blink of an eye, you are pulled an easily 75 feet.
Amazing.
So
75 feet in 6 seconds. What's the math on that? Fairly fast. It's gonna really suck for this guy whenever the boomerang fucking cracks it right across the face. If it has a face.
and it is pulling you into the hole. I'm going to allow you a dexterity saving throw to grab the edge of the hole.
Okay. With advantage, right?
I thought you were gonna say, fuck it, I don't want to save. I don't want to grab the edge of the hole anyway.
No, if I see the tentacle going in towards the hole, I'm like, ah, shit.
Okay, and let me also tell you right now, so that you can have the full context of what you're witnessing to determine if you want to spend an action point on this.
Uh-huh.
So as you attempt to grab on to the edge and prevent yourself from falling down, you enter a moment where everything seems to slow down. You're able to accurately see everything before you as it's happening, and it seems like it's going in slow motion. You assess the scene. This thing is pulling you down in the hole where the tentacle is truly emerging from is a pool of acid.
Okay.
If you fall down this hole, you are falling into a pit of acid,
Sure.
and it is 30 feet down.
Listen, I already just was already decided I was going to use the act.
Okay, but
To try and-
I mean, I assumed you were going to use the action point,
Oh,
but
yeah.
just wanted so that you also know.
That's way better. Do I roll a confirm?
Yeah, let's see.
No, fuck. All right.
Okay. So you have grabbed the edge of the hole. It is continuing to pull you, and it is a strain. This is a battle between you and it to see who's going to win. Is it going to drag you into the soup that is so hoping digests you so it can suck up all those fluids? Or will you prevail in keeping yourself from that fate? Now, technically, you haven't used an action yet.
Yep. Exactly.
Gonna turn this around.
What do you do?
I pulled out the boomerang, so like I'm one-handed this motherfucker. Shit.
Wait, you're pulling out the boomerang. You're one-handing it right now.
I said I did that in the first place. So
Okay, wait a minute. So you pulled your boomerang out and then you gave into the thing?
yeah.
Okay. So
Good thing I rolled that nat 20.
okay, so no, because that changes things, because that was not a factor I was aware of. With only one hand, you would have disadvantage on that saving throw. So you can drop the boomerang into the acid. Or
Technically, that means he crit failed and then rolled to confirm and failed again.
so you
No, I
can,
didn't crit fail. What the fuck are you talking about? I got an 11.
If you had right, but then you used an action point.
right. So
That's
he
true.
can choose
You would
to
have
not.
gotten an 11.
Yeah. So you can choose to drop the boomerang into the acid to allow yourself the grip that you need to stay put, or you can fall with the boomerang into the soup.
You guys ready to level up? Let me see here. The boomerang is literally my only ranged weapon.
Yeah, but is the acid actually going to eat it alive?
Knowing Mike, yeah. Magical don't mean shit in his world.
You wanted to run into it.
Yeah, I wanted to run it. I didn't know I was going into an acid pit.
Well, I did my best to telegraph the potential consequences.
I don't even know how we were meant to deal with this whole fucking situation in the first place. Um,
Oh, Dustin, I just saw your thing.
Okay.
Give me a charisma check.
Oof. It's not worth action pointing.
why there's more acid? Where does this more stomach acid come from? Uh, I mean, I feel like at this point, it's just something like, even if I make it out, it's just gonna keep trying to pull me in. It's gonna stay down there. I might as well just go to it.
Really?
What else am I gonna do? What else is everybody gonna do?
You're
At least
going to
maybe I
try
can
and
distract it.
you're gonna try and survive. I mean,
I have a vague plan of what I'm gonna do. I mean, we'll see what happens, but I mean, like, I can't guarantee I'm gonna save you, but
Yeah, I'm kind of waiting for my turn to figure out if I even know that you were dragged off.
yeah.
No, so basically the plan, the idea was like I like catch myself briefly, like, guys, run, hurry up, and let go and go down. I here I go
Either
with the boomerang.
I can't really communicate with you, but I'm not sure that is the wisest plan as
Yeah.
a player. but
nor
it is epic. It is
is.
very much
It-
like Brendan committing suicide, thinking it'll work out.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's also very much like Dr. Sheaf, except this is on Ewan's own term.
That's right, goddammit.
All right, so beyond the veil of darkness, beyond the senses of anybody else, unbeknownst to anyone except you, you find yourself pulled to the edge. You cling to the edge of the hole, trying desperately with one hand to maintain your grip, swinging the boomerang behind you, trying to catch purchase and strike the tentacle. But in doing so, you lose your grip and you fall into the acid. Immediately, the acid begins to burn. You feel it in on your skin, eating at your clothes. But then you feel it in your mouth, in your nose. You feel your eyes. Just the most pain you've ever experienced, just in your eyes. is incredible as you are being blinded by the acid as it eats away at you. You feel it filling your ears and the acid eating and burrowing deeper and deeper into your head, making its way to your brain.
Con save, right?
So, while so you're not instantly dead, but you are in this pool of acid. Your luminous tubes go out as they're burned away by the acid.
Might as well be dead. Man.
They're magic. What do you mean?
Magic acid.
It's a whiplash acid.
Yeah.
Right.
So leaving you in complete darkness. So every round you're going to take 4d4 acid damage. So you're not dead yet, but you are going to be dying fairly soon.
Did I take that just now?
Yes.
All right. Those are the temporary hit points.
So technically you still haven't gone. So what would you like to do?
What did it pull me to something? Besides the acid, obviously. Does it still have a hold of me?
It does.
Okay. Swing at this thing.
Okay. You are going to do it with disadvantage because it is immersed in the acid. So you were trying to hit it below the level of the acid, and it's also in complete darkness. So even though you can feel it, just the act that you're trying to hit it basically underwater, makes the strike difficult. You're also technically still poisoned as well, but that
So I
does
have disadvantage. Alright. That's not on it. Or is it on attack rolls? I don't remember anymore.
yeah, it's attack
Oh,
rolls
wait.
and ability
Didn't-
checks.
That didn't roll my other damage. So that should be an additional 2d4 here. And then I'd like to make it whatever the hell it is, make a con save. Okay, sure.
Do you want to do your next attack?
Yeah, I'm doing the other one.
Okay, that misses.
No, I don't have any action points. I would have had to activate the boomerang, so
All right. So, make a strength or dexterity saving throw. Okay. So you are no longer grappled. Now make a constitution saving throw. And you're no longer poisoned. Blade. Make me a perception check.
Sure.
Lux and Melodia, you guys can also make perception checks.
13.
Guess mine would be a straight roll because disadvantage from exhaustion, but I got those goggles, so it'd be just a straight 18 then.
So it's hearing based, it's not
Oh, okay,
sight
okay, my
based.
bad. All right.
Melodia, is that a true 19 or you have disadvantage?
Nope, that's true 19.
Okay, so you hear what sounds like a very slick slide and whoosh.
Okay, I tell everyone I hear a whoosh. That I think maybe something might have happened to Ewan. Not
I yelled out.
You did yell out.
yeah. Did we hear that or no?
Wait, when did you yell out?
Right before I let go. Like I was holding on, like just barely, and I was like, fucking run. Yeah, it's like run through.
Oh yeah, and so you hear that, and then you hear a whoosh.
Okay. Yeah. So I tell everyone I think we need to get over there and help him right now. I'm not sure if he's still wherever we heard him last.
Oh, I mean, the boomerang is making, I don't know what sort of thunderous noises from underneath the acid too.
Those would be muffled pretty significantly from where you are. Because it's caught within the room, and so the sound needs to escape the acid, the room, and then reach the ears of the others, so they wouldn't hear it from where they are. Maybe when they get closer. So, Blade, what are you doing after Melodia says that?
Spirited is half speed, right?
No, not if you're staggered. But if you have 2 levels of exhaustion, you have half speed.
Yeah. So Blade, in that case, Blade can move the full speed, although he's be charging into darkness. So I guess rather than fiddle around and like pull out a torch, he's gonna hold his action until Lux moves, who is the current light source, to continue forward.
Okay, so you'll basically follow Lux.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this
No.
yeah.
Anything else?
No, that's it.
Okay. So now it's the monster's turn. It's still attacking you, Ewan. So first attack. It's a miss. Second attack is a miss. Third attack. Potential crit.
Here's where he dies.
So I assume a 23 hits.
100% it does. God damn it. It wasn't the goddamn acid. It was the monster.
You were really close to taking it out. One more hit point probably would have taken it out.
Oh, I thought I would
So
have rolled better on the fucking thunder damage.
38. You move at half speed. Not that that really matters. So you take 14, 28 piercing damage and a 16 acid damage.
I'm using 2 vitality.
Okay. And you are grappled again.
Sure.
Um,
Sorry, I'm back.
everything okay?
Yep.
Okay. So it is your turn.
So I heard basically what happened. My audio cut out here and there. So not much I could do except I am going to I scoff at myself as I realize I'm going to attempt to kind of jump down into this hole and like grab onto the edge enough to like swing in and land at least not in the cloud. He questioned. That's my
Okay.
plan.
All right, go ahead and give me an athletics or acrobatics check.
Oh, good. Acrobatics. Oh, that's good.
Roll it again.
Not as good.
Okay. You can pick where you land. You will be you will avoid landing prone, and with your check you manage to reduce the fall damage to half. So you only take 4.
I take half of 1d6. Okay, 4.
Yeah.
And then I assume everybody has run off to go and save Ewan.
No,
Not yet.
Oh,
they're all still there.
so I surprise. That's true. I guess I don't know. Did I see the lights? Because I was up higher and the cloud's only 20 feet high. Did I see the light emerge as Ewan was dragged away or hear him yell?
So we heard him yell, and we heard a swoosh of him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Essentially
mean,
going, but
technically, I think we heard him yell, "Run," which
Yeah.
can be taken more than one way.
I said, run through.
I would say from your vantage point, Kurt, you would have seen him, the light like emerge from behind the cloud and could tell that he was dragged.
So
Pretty
after
quickly.
the I have to stand up from prone. There's half my movement.
No, you're not. I said with your acrobatics check, you avoided landing prone.
Oh, cool. And I'll say he was dragged out the other side of the cloud. And then I'm still going to take an action to cast light on my shield.
Okay. Let me light you up. That's 20 feet, right?
Yeah, 20 and 20.
Okay, I don't know why my thing is going so slow, but there.
I mean, whenever I do this, we can just drag a torch out. I don't care if I have to move that separately. But and then I'm going to use my move action.
Okay. So Blade, you can do your action then to follow. Because
Alright.
you were holding your action until there was a light that you could follow.
Yep.
So that's also going to change your initiative, your place in the initiative.
He's already at 16. We're all at 16.
Yeah. He'd be using basically he'd just be in following and using his action his bonus action to dash along to keep up.
Okay.
And we could see, I assume, the luminous tubes, I guess, dissolved in the acids. There's probably no light coming from down the hallway like there is on the map. But
Oh,
the
yeah.
luminous
Let me take
tubes
care
can
of that.
regrow. Took me a while to remember Brandon's character's name, Petrie. the one who committed
Oh, yes,
suicide.
Petrie.
I just
And then his new character was that super abusive guy.
Right, the war criminal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
but
Frank,
that's as much.
he had a bear companion that like would wince every time his new character moved because that's how he treated the bear.
Sounds horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Brendan he's a great player in that he always comes up with a character concept that you're gonna hate, but it's always funny. It's always funny in the end, but like in the moment, you're like, what the hell's going on? So that's as far as I can move. Blade might be able to move further, but into the darkness.
Blade's at half speed right now.
Okay.
No, Blade's at full. He's got 1 level of exhaustion, and he's not.
Well, you already had a level of exhaustion before you went into vitality, and then you gained a second level, I thought.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah. So that's about as far as he's going.
Yeah, and as you follow me in the excitement, that's when I probably would realize that you also need help. Well, I haven't been down here. I've been like up above, so I didn't see how injured you were before this moment.
The tentacle packs a wallop.
All right. Melodia, you're up. Lux on deck, Ewan in the hole.
Okay. I am hoping, and your call on this one, that I'm hoping to dissipate some of that poison via Pantone flapping his wings, not eliminating it, but making more direct path so we don't have to go around this cloud to get out there quicker. Is that feasible?
Do you have an action point?
Yes. I haven't used any today yet.
So the action point will allow you the attempt,
Okay.
but Pantone will still need to make an athletics check to see how well
Athletics.
she can do that. So what you're essentially saying is you don't want her to disperse the cloud.
Well, I mean, ideally, well, I would like it to disperse it ideally, but not at the cost of just spreading the poison around the room and getting us all sick. I'm more looking to make a more direct path. I can't draw on that. Never mind. To go straight down versus having to go around the poison cloud.
Right. So what I'm saying is because there's 2 possible effects.
Mhm.
Either Pantone's wings cause the entire cloud to move down the hall,
Ah, okay.
or you're creating a very brief path through that Pantone leads, and you and Lux, if you decide, can follow.
I think for as tight as that is down there already, even if I move it 5 feet, I think would be very detrimental. So I'm not going to do that.
Well, but so yeah, so if you fail, there's a possibility of doing that. But
yeah, I would be plugging that hole where I feel there is a chance we can skate by in the bottom left corner.
do you have 2 action points?
I'm sorry, how many do we get a day? Is it
You get
3?
2 per session.
Yeah, I have 2. I have 2 right now.
Okay, so if you wanted to spend both action points, I would allow you to do it without a check.
For my current health situation, I'm not going to do that.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, I mean, you can also, if you really wanted to, spend an action point for an extra action, which you could use to dash, which would more than make up like the distance you're trying to save.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, the benefit of using the action point though is that it would also allow Lux to follow, and also, well, yeah. So Pantone.
Lux can spend a Kai point to kind of do the same thing, or she could just leap over the cloud.
Yeah,
I don't know how high the ceiling actually is.
How much additional movement do I get with an action point? The dash.
You double your movement.
Double. Okay. Yeah.
So you basically with the dash you're able to move again.
Okay. I'm gonna do that. So that's 60. Okay. And
So that wouldn't have cost you an action point. That's just
that's just dashing. Okay.
Right.
yeah, moving
Okay.
dash.
But if you wanted to use an action point, you could dash again.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that.
Okay.
$50. Okay, yeah. So I'm right at the edge right now with a little bit to spare.
Okay.
Do I, looking over the edge, do I see Ewan at all?
You hear a lot of splashing. And you can see 30 feet down, there's a pool of acid. Does not look like there's any platforms or anything that you could stand on or that Ewan could stand on. This one does look more like an esophagus that just goes down into this massive pool of acid. Well,
So
it's
is
not
it
like an esophagus,
okay?
that
So
like, but I mean, the walls are still, they're not far beyond the hole. But it is a fairly deep pool of acid with nowhere that you would be able to stand on. And you see him struggling to stay up. So, Lux, you're up. Blade, you already went. Ewan is on deck. Monster in the hole.
Okay.
And oh wait, so Frank, as you're moving Pantone, remember Pantone is faster. Pantone, I think, has a 40-foot speed.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
can they be on the same spot? I could get there, but
So yeah, you can overlap. That's
oh,
fine.
okay, okay.
I just wanted to make sure that if you're dashing and everything, that you're getting Pantone.
Oh, yeah, actually, I'll dash with him. I just had normal movement on him. Okay.
Okay.
Let's see. I use
I don't know if I like Pantone being in my square. He snapped at Ewan.
okay. So if I take the dash action, it's twice movement, right? So
Yeah. And you can use Step of the Wind to bonus action dash again for a Kai point.
Yeah.
bonus action.
Wait, and sorry, a dash is double your movement, and an action point I can do that twice, right?
So
Uh,
a move, you have a certain movement rate. A dash
Yes,
is
yeah.
a second move. So you move again. That's what it means when he says double your movement. If you
Okay.
move and then dash, you will go twice as far as if you just moved.
Okay.
right.
Yeah.
And you
no-
get 2 action points a session. So
Yeah. No.
you can use them. If you wanted to
Oh,
use another action point to take another action.
Yeah,
you
I
could.
forgot Pantone is not large. I was gonna have her fly down and try to rescue him, and I'm like, oh no, you can't lift him up.
Yeah.
So never mind.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess I run over here and see same thing, 30-foot pool of acid.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing to stand on.
Nothing to stand on.
Monster literally in the hole.
Yeah.
Mm. Um, Let's see. See if I missed anything.
We can kill this monster. This might be a great place to long rest because who the hell would come in this room?
Good. All right, I'm just taking a quick look to see if I've got anything that I wrote down that I might have that I forgot.
That's fine.
So I can't see anything to hit.
No, you cannot.
Ah,
It's below the surface of the acid.
don't know.
You can try and drop your taint stone. If it doesn't hit you, and it might hit the thing. Of course, it could clock you in right in the head too.
Just lightning bolt the acid until it's dead. In fact, in my head, I assumed that was Ewan's plan. Just hit it with the lightning till it's dead.
Yeah, and my attacks only reach 15 feet. Don't have anything. Yeah, I don't really have anything else I can do. I can oh my notes here. So okay, the fragrite core we got rid of, right? I had to get rid of that.
The what?
The fragrite thing, the dust thing
Fragrite?
that I reached in and grabbed and threw it in the bag of holding. I had to get
Oh,
rid of that, right? Yeah.
yeah, I think you guys did.
Yeah.
Because you guys didn't want it to potentially like come back and bite you in the ass or something.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we dumped it out like while flying.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
right, because there was something else that you were putting in the bag of holding that
Right.
the I think the coin.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't want the coin corrupting that thing and creating some kind of super demon.
Hmm.
And
Coin
now
and
that we need a
acid.
super demon. Did you use up that Voragol feather?
I mean, Balgog's feather. It's on here,
Yeah.
but I think I've used up the thing to call him.
Yeah, you
Always
used it in
spend
the
an extra
Battle of
point to try.
Haruman.
Yeah. No. I
Vaguely remember you like before he left. He's like, "You can call me again."
Yeah, because he didn't leave. He got destroyed by Haruman. Well, didn't get destroyed, but he got hit hard enough to be sent back to where he came from.
Yeah, where's Walla Walla? Throw him in there. Save him.
That koala hates you guys
See?
enough as it is.
I seem to remember at one point, Solomon wanted to buy a gold dragon who would come in kind of useful now.
Oh,
But
wait a
Ewan
second.
said no.
Is acid considered a liquid?
Yes.
What are you thinking?
Does anyone have any like baking soda we can just dump in there?
Yes, you have a whole bag of baking soda.
Hey, I don't know.
Bag-
I don't
it
know
is
what you
a
guys
bag
have.
bag of holding of baking soda.
Yeah, some baking soda spell components.
No, I'm not gonna use an action point to go gonzo this, but I've got Marar out looking, and then go from there. Hopefully, I can take a reaction. No, I can't take a reaction with that. I would have to put Marar away, so because I can use the reaction with the with my other ability. That would make more sense. So I'm just waiting to see this thing come. If it comes close to me, I'm going to attack it. I'm going to use a reaction.
Okay.
It's not, because I'm gonna kill it.
And
Okay,
Bladis
good.
went. So Ewan, before we go, you're taking
Uh-huh.
8 acid damage.
Not a problem.
And you are still grappled. You can feel it trying to pull you beneath the acid. And yeah, so you still have disadvantage on attacks against it.
I mean, yeah, everything is working against me, but I'm still gonna try.
Okay.
Came down here for a goddamn reason. I'm gonna fucking finish this thing.
All right. Let's see if you do it.
Let me double check something. Okay. Yep. Just swinging. Here we go.
You connect and you feel the grasp let go and sink.
And I immediately attempted to swim upwards.
Okay. So you are at the surface.
Like,
You're
son of a bitch,
still
this
bra-
hurts. Fuck. Get me out. It's dead. Just get me out.
We're out of rounds now. Well, no, not quite, because he's burning up every round. So I want to keep track of this. So everybody can do one action, or not one action, but you can take your turn. But you guys can do it in whatever order.
Has everyone got an idea?
I do.
Okay.
I just have to point something out. Ewan was the one holding the rope, right? Because you were the one lowering people down when you decided to YOLO and
I actually thought it was all of us that we were
We were just kinda
lowering
like
people
All
as a
holding the
group.
rope. Yeah.
But my character definitely dropped the rope in order to move into position to attack
Yeah.
the creature. So
I can't imagine I would
I-
just be
I'm-
carrying the rope.
okay.
right, and I
50 feet
I
of
mean,
rope is like 10 pounds.
right, and I don't think we had one rope. I think we had several people with rope. We at one point had spliced 2 ropes together. I'm not sure if we were still using that, and we knotted it so it was like
I
shorter.
think that one's still at the entrance, the one that's been like kind of knotted
No, because
together.
it was when we were lowering people down to the area with the different terraces. It was
okay.
before that. It was before that. It was a longer.
No, it was
lower.
where I kept on getting dropped because those are 50 foot drops.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Really? Wow.
But it was after it
Ah,
was
yeah,
one
I
of the
don't know
ones,
why. Yeah.
it was one of the ones where Lux brought us the rope when she was done. So we did keep the rope because we knew we were going to run out.
I'm
'Cause we
pretty
have
sure I had a rope
thousands
I
of
haven't
miles.
used.
Yeah,
Okay.
and Blade has a rope that he hasn't used.
Okay.
But we got
longest-
a rope up the wazoo.
The longest one I remember us having to use in the knotted one was the one that was like, yeah, right, coming right down near the big tumor looking fucking thing.
Right. But yeah, I get up here and realize that Ewan is down there. That is not a very big hole. But my 50-foot rope survived and it had knots on it. So I was gonna lower that.
Okay. So
But that I had to double move to get here, so I don't have an action.
okay.
You're just like, here's the rope.
Right. Object interaction, I fished the rope out, but then I'm just standing there.
All right. Who's next? Who or it looks like so Blade, you just use your movement to get to there. That's where
Yeah,
you can
I
get.
can I can only move at half speed. I can move a maximum with double dashing and movement at 45 feet. So that gets me to about next to Pantone.
Okay.
Right. I guess I might motion in the direction of Melodia to take the rope. Since I can't do anything else.
So I think Melodia, Lux, and maybe Pantone are gonna try to anchor this rope.
Okay.
Well, I think we at least drop it down and like, so to give you a chance just to at least just to grab on, not necessarily
Yeah.
climb up, just to get out of the acid.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. So let's see as Ewan, because before Ewan can go, it's taking some acid damage.
Mhm.
It's taking 8 acid damage.
Not a problem. Like a warm
And
bath.
then you're
Exfoliation.
you're trying to climb up the rope. So give me an
Climbing
athletics
up the
check.
rope. Successfully
You have-
climbing
you
up
have
the rope.
Disadvantage. So because
But the-
of
But the
Oh,
rope
sorry,
has
go ahead.
knots in it. Just gonna say the rope has knots in it to make it easier to climb.
okay. So you're able to hold on to the rope. And you can pull yourself up a little bit. But
I can
it's
brace
gonna
myself up on the wall too to pull myself out a little more.
okay. Yeah, with your athletics check, you can do that. And so now between Lux, Branded One, and Melodia, well, Lux or Melodia, because Branded One already went. So which one of you is going to make the
Not it.
athletics check?
I'll do it. I got it.
Okay.
I hope.
I'm at disadvantage. Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
I mean, Lux can help.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
considering that Lux is helping.
okay. I have an action point to use if I need to.
I think
I
it's
think
So-
that puts you at
Whatever.
advantage for that if Lux is helping. So
So you're able to get Ewan up 15 feet. So Ewan, you're going to take the acid damage one more time because there's still some cleaning on your clothes and everything.
Sure, why not? Of the full amount? Not submerged in it anymore.
Three
No, but
quarters.
you've been submerged in it for a while. Your clothes are still all soaked with it.
I thought they
Wait.
were eaten away.
Quick, pee on you and neutralize the acid.
I mean, they've
Everyone-
been eaten away, but you're not like buck naked right now. Unless
I
you
say
want to
you're-
be. If you want to be buck naked, you can. But I mean, then you don't have any of your equipment.
Yeah, is that his new character?
I just, as I was running around, I distinctly heard about the acid like dissolving your brain.
Yeah, right.
making its way there. So,
you're pulling up a
Jonathan
fucking
the Walnut,
skeleton
it
right
didn't
now.
get there.
all right. So, Ewan, go ahead and make an athletics check to see how well you can maintain your hold or try to advance yourself up.
Pretty well.
Fucking phenomenally.
Serious. He's very serious about getting out of there.
Okay.
I flip off the acid as I leave this hole.
So now Melodia, make the final athletics check to see if Ewan gets out of the hole and is safe.
Oh,
Okay. So, Ewan,
Yeah, what's up?
you are now out of the hole. Now grabbing onto the rope, did you take time to stow the boomerang, or what were you doing? Because you would
I
have needed
figured
both
I
hands.
wouldn't have been able to swim with it in my hand like that. So
Okay, so you dropped the boomerang,
no, I stowed it.
or you stowed it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so you are now
does it need
Oh,
to make a
fucking-
con save?
Shirt off. Fucking. Well, guys, that
Lux
was
is
kind of
peeing on
shitty,
you.
but it's kind of shitty, but it's dead. I need to sleep.
You should be dead.
I'm at
So-
2 vitality.
so Ewan,
Yes.
you were submerged in acid for 3 rounds, 2 rounds, 3 rounds. And given the extent of your injuries, you're gonna have some kind of scar. You can go ahead and describe it. You can figure out what it is, the extent of it. It's purely cosmetic, but
I just like look.
Cosmetic.
your
I'm gonna
body,
look to
this
to-
this is
yeah.
something that is going to stay with you.
Forever.
He's the guy from
Victory.
RoboCop now.
as a victory. God damn it. So I'm gonna look to the branded ones. Like a little bit of help would be immensely helpful here. I'm not gonna word well.
Why? It seems as if you were in combat under the acid. It's
Yeah.
amazing you're still alive. It's amazing your eyes are still intact.
This little amulet here is very helpful. I thank it for keeping me alive.
All your hair burned up. Oh wait, no, you were bald in the first place.
So I will cast a 4th level Cure Wounds on him.
Ewan was not bald.
Oh, okay. All right.
He is now.
He is now.
Amazing. 26. I'm still in vitality. I'm at 28 of 30. The fun thing is that I do have this thing. It would have kept me alive for a little bit. Maybe.
Oh.
Now with whiplash acid.
Yeah, that's true.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
it may be that this is a place where we can rest. So I don't know many things that would want to tangle with that creature. And both you and Blade appear to desperately need it.
I most definitely need to perform maintenance.
So I'm going to use my last 3rd level spell slot. Though that's my Revivify spell slot that I was keeping in the hole just in case to cast Aura of Vitality, just in case something happens.
Okay.
So, who's worse off between Brandon one and Ewan? Or
You mean
Brandon one
Blade?
between Blade and Ewan.
Blade has full vitality and he's missing 43 hit points.
Okay, so first I'm going to do Ewan. First, I'll split it 6 and 4.
I'm down 2 vitality and 102 hit points.
Good Lord.
So that all goes to Ewan.
Yeah, you only had 2 vitality left.
Yeah, I know.
You survived just by the skin of your teeth.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
if you have any extra, I could use it as well, but if not, I have the med healing thing.
Right. Well, I actually don't. I haven't been keeping track of who we've used healers kits on or when we short rested. But
I should be. You know what? That's my bad. I'm gonna be starting to track who's has a healer's kit used on them.
But Melodia brings up she says I've heard you guys mention this wandering emporium. What is this you speak of?
it is an
incredibly safe location, honestly.
Yes.
I mean, I would consider it to be an extra dimensional realm. Seems to be on the back of some creature that pops in and out of sight, even though it's the size of a mountain.
Is it a place we could buy provisions and stock up?
It is a very expensive place to go where you can buy provisions. I don't know
Okay.
how many. I don't know that we brought all of our coins with us.
Melodia pulls out of her quiver and shows you she has 4 arrows left. So once these are gone, I don't know how much of a use I will be to you guys.
So, and then this one's for Melodia, and then these are for Blade.
The Melodia got 1. And
I had already used 6 when Melodia said she needed help, and you were like just in vitality.
Yeah. So the last 4 are for Blade.
Okay.
That's what I was confirming.
No, the
All
last
right,
3 are for Blade. The 7 is for Melodia.
Gotcha.
So I know Ewan and Blade, you each have 2 levels of exhaustion, correct?
Mhm.
Yep.
Does anybody else have exhaustion?
Yeah, I got 1 level.
Okay.
I mean, did we even bring our soul coins with us? Because going to the Wandering Emporium without soul coins is hardly worth it.
So the soul coins are fairly large, like they're
Right,
6
I know.
inches in diameter. So I don't know if you guys if you did bring them, who would be carrying them?
Would they not be in the bag?
I mean,
Bag
that
of
could
holding?
be. I just don't know where we were keeping them.
Yeah.
I
feel like we
definitely
put them in the-
was not holding them. I thought Ewan was, because he was the one telling Solomon what he could spend things on.
Is I mean, would there be a reason that we wouldn't keep them in the bag of holding?
You
Like,
guys
were we-
could have them in the back of a holding if you want.
Seems
Like-
like a good place.
Yeah, it's I don't see generally why like the party wouldn't do that.
Okay.
Unless they were like they took it out because they were afraid that they would get corrupted by the feed coin or something.
Hawk, really quick, what is the hit die for Pantone? I don't see it on sh-
Pantone doesn't have hit dice.
So what would I roll for the healer's kit then for him?
Pantone can't benefit from the healer's
He
kit.
cannot. Okay, never mind then.
How
It
does the
seems
healer's kit
either-
work?
Let
Is
me just double check that.
So once per short rest, a healer's kit can be used by somebody who's trained in medicine to heal. I'd have to look up the number.
Okay.
Did we short rest
It's on
at
the screen right now.
did we
Okay.
short rest at the end of last session? Do you know?
Yeah, it's 1d6 plus 4 plus your hit dice. Your maximum hit dice, your level basic.
Okay, so
That's what I don't
Pantone-
remember. I don't
Like
remember
when
we
Blade went
short-rested.
down, I didn't know if we short rested against that cliff edge there at the end of last session or not.
Oh, I don't think we short rested then.
Okay.
And I think we had a short rest in there.
you guys have used
Yeah.
one short rest today.
Yep.
So in terms of short rest, Pantone can't really benefit from that because Pantone doesn't have hit dice. But
Okay.
Pantone can benefit from the healer's kit. It's just 1d4 plus 4.
Okay.
Since she doesn't have hit dice, she wouldn't get the additional hit points.
Okay.
So yeah, so I'm assuming the branded one is proficient in medicine.
Yeah, so is Melodia.
Yeah,
Oh,
we both
okay.
are.
Yeah, because
So
I
did
could
you
use.
did you want that?
Yeah.
There.
Oh, there.
You get 8 plus
Revise
your level
weapon
back.
strike.
And I'll deduct 1.
And this one, I know it's not great, but I'm gonna give it for Pantone. Oh, oh no, it's tier this.
Okay, so who
Yeah.
are you using the healer's kits on?
The
Lux
sec-
and Pantone.
yeah, the one that Melodia did is for Pantone, but that's just the 1d4 plus 4, I think. So
Okay, so
I'll just roll
so-
that separately.
Well, wait a minute, because a person can only benefit from a healer's kit once per short rest. So
Yeah,
right.
it's not per person. Like Frank using it and Kurt using it on Lux would only benefit from one of you guys using it on her.
Oh no, yeah.
Right.
Okay, yeah, I thought Brandon one was using on Lux and I was using on Pantone. I'm not sure what the first healer's kit was.
Okay.
That was just me figuring out what the damage it healed was.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Have I
And
got
because
that?
because I'm paranoid, I'm spending an action point to get a spell slot back.
Okay.
Have I
Did-
had the healer's kit this rest?
You're where I don't remember. I think I may
Yeah.
have used one on you in the meantime.
Yeah, I know I used one at the end of last session on myself. So I don't know. I don't remember if we did you last session.
I mean, the good
Well, I
news about the
think-
Wandering Emporium is that's where I got like 90 healers kits. So
Well, I
they have-
mean,
they have a good supplier.
even the closed wounds would help me a bit.
Right.
So
So Lux, Pantone, Melodia have had healer's kits used on them since the previous short rest.
Yeah,
Anybody else?
I haven't right now, but it was our previous rest last session. But yeah.
Before or
sure,
after the rest?
I feel like I had it used on me.
Okay.
But yeah, if I get the
I-
closed wounds, I can get a little more healing in that way too. So
Yeah, I can cast close wounds.
So this is technically a short rest we're getting.
No, we're still deciding what we're going to do. But,
Okay. Gotcha.
you know, just in case, like another one of these shoots out of the darkness, it's good to heal up. I mean, I personally, we only have one other time we can go back to the Wandering Emporium unless we acquire additional tokens to go back. And I personally would want to wait just in case our vehicle breaks down, as that's the only place we could possibly take it to have it fixed.
Then
So I would risk resting here in these tunnels. You know, if we are meet something we can't handle, hell, I guess I don't know. How long would it take us to activate the I don't really remember what the token was that lets us get back, but how long is it? Like, is it a minute? Is it an action?
Yeah, it's not something that you would be able to use in in the midst of combat to activate. So it does take like a minute to use to activate. And you know what? I need to create the token and put it in the journal so that we have that official, so we're all on the same page on how it's used and what the cost is.
So it would be a risk to stay here, but it seems to me it's a risk worth taking.
I think your argument is solid about the danger being a deterrent for other creatures. And to be honest, I just don't fucking care anymore. I need to lay down. I've died twice in the past 30 minutes.
Hmm.
I was in acid.
I can see that. Your tubes fully burned away.
And your scarring, I'm afraid, will be extensive.
Yeah. It's not a big deal.
It's a flesh wound.
Quite literally.
So you guys want to take a long rest here?
That was my suggestion.
Want to, no, but are we gonna? Yeah, probably. We could be somewhat kind of close to this acid pool in case something does come out at us. We can throw it
Like
in.
pushing it, throw it into the acid.
Yeah.
You want to maybe head back to where we first came down, and at least we're against a wall over there.
Walls are not safety here.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah.
Yeah,
That-
I like the
that
safety of
area
the acid
might-
pool.
That area might be yeah, I mean, that area up there is a little wider, which gives us more room, but the things can come out of the goddamn floor somehow.
I think that's only for you.
Yeah, they can come out of the floor if you roll a 1.
All right, so you guys are setting up camp right here in the middle of the scab.
Don't put
Think
it.
Yep.
Listen,
Everybody's doing
have
it.
you fucking seen our life totals? Yes.
Yeah, I guess so. We should set up a watch though.
Yeah.
The bare minimum.
Is Melodia an elf or
Half elf.
so we all gotta sleep? God damn it.
Well,
Not
Blade.
Blade.
Yeah.
Blade will be.
He's gonna be shut down.
Yeah, he's still alert. He's just not like able to do much. So he'll be like he can still be a sentry and kind of keep watch.
So the light that Lux has, is it the sort of thing that could remain lit if you were asleep? Because the light I can make will end an hour after I fall asleep. Which might mean somebody with dark vision should take the watch after mine. Either way, I call first watch.
Yeah, I mean, I have dark vision, so
Right, and now smooth-chested McGee can't light up his luminous tubes.
Oh no.
All right.
They're gonna come back real soon. You know why? Because those luminous tubes, they were blessed by Solomon.
Okay. So who's taking the first watch?
I am.
Okay. So Blade and Branded One, give me perception checks.
I imagine like as the stubble starts to grow back in, whenever I then ignite the luminous tubes, they're like pinpoint lights. Could blind somebody by hitting their retina just right.
All right. So neither one of you see or hear anything. But still just 10 minutes into your rest and these things begin coming out of the wall.
Get up. Blood tentacles.
So I will say now, Melodia, you can't be surprised
Yeah.
because you're alert. I would say Branded One and Blade, you guys are awake, so you're not surprised. Everybody else is surprised. So, so those of you who are not surprised, roll initiative.
Oh shoot, I didn't have my token selected. Do you want me to re-roll or are you gonna input 11.2?
You can re-roll if you want.
Damn.
I
Yeah,
mean, they're going at 6, so
yeah.
in this fight it's just as good.
All right, so Melodia is up, Blade is on deck, Branded One in the hole.
Move here.
Oh,
Hunters.
wait. So by moving there,
Mm.
you draw an attack of opportunity
Oh,
because
they have
these guys
reach. I
have
forgot.
reach.
Shit. Yeah. Yeah, I won't do that. I'm gonna cast Hunter's Mark on this one.
Okay.
And sorry, just keep track of that. Okay. And then that's not Fiend, is it?
It is not.
Or Beast? Sorry.
It is not.
Okay. And
All right, so that's a hit. And that is also a hit. And you kill this one.
and then Pantone is gonna run up there. Would that get an attack of opportunity again up there?
Where is Pantone moving? So no,
Okay.
Pantone would not draw an attack of opportunity.
Okay, and then he's gonna attack that one.
Okay.
And he's fire-based damage.
All right, that's a hit. Anything else?
And that is it.
All right, Blade, you're up. Branded One on deck. Monsters in the hole.
Now, I got a question.
Yeah.
How many, how varying, how much do blood tentacle creatures tactics vary where if you've if you've had insightful fighting on one before, that like it's gonna be any different. Like, I mean, like thematically, like
Thematically, maybe not much, but you still have to use the ability each time.
so I'm gonna do that as my bonus action to see if these move any differently than the previous ones.
Okay, so which one? Because you only do it against one
I'll do
this
this
time.
this one. It's giving me the stink eye.
Okay.
It's the first time it ever occurred to me that you can be racist against oozes. All oozes are the same.
They all undulate the same.
Insight, that's the one.
All right, you're able to beat it.
All right. During his watch, he would have stowed his shield, so he doesn't have that on. But he's gonna pull out. He's gonna pull out his parrying dagger and his dagger, the silver throwing dagger, and he's gonna chuck the silver throwing dagger at it.
Okay. So that's actually still a hit.
Wow. And we'll roll sneak attack. Very nice. It's 27. And I'm gonna burn an action point and roll another.
Well, wait. So, why is it not let me do it? You killed it.
Sweet. No, I'm gonna still burn an action point and throw a dagger that after it returns my hand of that one.
Okay. So that's a hit.
Sweet. And that'll be my turn.
Okay. Branded one.
So I'm gonna. Is Lux still prone?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just gonna shoot over Lux at the one that's nearest me.
Okay, that's a hit.
That's my turn.
Okay.
Although I do have a healing potion on me that I haven't used yet. Just
Okay.
letting you know, because I know they like them.
So this one is gonna move up right next to Lux. And because Lux is prone, it's gonna have advantage on its attack. So, and they make 2 attacks. So first attack is, I assume, 27 hits. Lux.
Yep. Yep.
Okay, and you're grappled. And then a second attack misses, but then it is going to subsume you. So you have to make a Constitution saving throw. All right, so you fail. So you take 9 necrotic damage. And this other one begins attacking Pantone. So first attack misses. I assume a 10 misses. Second attack critical. Let's see if it succeeds. What's
His AC
Pantone's
is
number?
18. 18.
Okay. So it's still max damage. So that's 10 bludgeoning damage and 24 necrotic damage.
And he is down.
Okay. And so it is, even though it is dead, or Pantone is dead, it is going to subsume Pantone. And Pantone is completely subsumed. Now, the whole creature killed can't be restored to life doesn't affect Pantone because of the nature of Pantone, but still, you know, this is another trauma
Yes. Yeah.
for Pantone
From
Yeah.
Melodia.
and Melodia.
Yeah. Both of us. Yeah.
Yeah, because Melodia, you watch this thing just slowly draw Pantone in and devour Pantone, and it is very much like the Blob, where it's just slowly dissolving.
By the way, I just rewatched that movie, and I used to watch that as a kid. I don't know why my parents let me watch it as a kid. It's a
Yeah.
fantastic movie, but I was like, watch it like, I don't know, 10. I don't know what my
Yeah.
parents were thinking.
Listen,
Amazing movie, but
I was
yeah.
like 5 when I watched RoboCop. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like 8 and I was watching Freddy Krueger, Aliens.
Mhm.
I was absolutely 4 years
RoboCop.
old when
Yeah,
I
but it's not
watched
surprising for you,
Candyman.
Mike.
Your game
Yeah, I guess
shows
it makes
this
sense.
much. Yes. It's obviously your games. Yeah, I saw Candyman when I was 4.
All right. So now we're top of the round. So those of you who are surprised are no longer surprised and can roll initiative. Okay. Ewan is up. Lux on deck. Well, everybody's going before the monsters, so you guys can choose the order.
Even want to move, let alone fight more. Okay, so what weapon does Vegnog have currently showing?
He's currently dual wielding daggers.
You get your throwing dagger,
Got
right?
my throwing dagger and a parrying dagger.
Is this guy within your range? 30 feet, right?
Yep, he's within range.
All right. Do I have any right now? Yes, I do. Summon a bonus action, Commander Strike. You can use your reaction if you like to make. Oh wait, yeah, I'm sorry. I'll go ahead and fucking move forward so that way you can have your sneak attack. But yeah, bonus action, Commander Strike, so that you can try and get some sneak attack on this guy.
Let's do it. 17. That is a hit. The other one was a hit.
Yeah.
And sneak attack. 20 damage total. Piercing.
It's still up.
All right, I'm not even gonna bother with any weapons. Just gonna fucking punch him.
And it is no longer up.
I don't even punch him. I just like double fist. Fucking get down. God. Then, that was like 20 feet of movement. I'll just take a couple of steps back. That's it.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna cast an
But
empowered.
Ewan, do you have anything that increases your speed?
Oh, you're right. I couldn't have moved after that.
Okay. Brandon, what were you saying?
I'm gonna cast an empowered blessed flare at the one that's trying to absorb Lux.
Okay.
And that's my turn.
And it is dead. The monsters are dead.
It seems we're not. Seems long resting is out of the question.
Maybe that, or maybe we're just very unlucky right now.
Well, we have two options. We can, well, three, I suppose, if pushing on were an option. But the other two being we can either go to the Wandering Emporium or I can create a box of stone that completely envelops us.
Will we be able to breathe inside this box of stone of yours?
I could leave a tiny gap, but that would not be wise because these things can just appear anywhere and have tentacles.
So not breathing. Okay.
I mean, these things don't. It's not like they're squeezing through the walls here. They're just fucking melding out of it.
No, but they're oozes. They can fit through very tiny spaces, even if they weren't able to move through these walls.
But it is an ideal solution for Blade because I don't think he needs to breathe anyway.
Not. I would be nice and safe. You, all of you, not so much.
I feel like if you did the whole box route, if the hole were small enough, they would still have to work to get through.
But we would also have less room to maneuver. It would be more difficult to defend our position.
I mean, the whole position is the defense at that point. How big of a box are we talking here?
Not exactly sure. See.
I hope it does it great.
So, Hawk, looking up, is there a hole above us that the first time we tried going down?
Yeah, right here.
Okay. Okay.
So technically, because it's 10 panels, it would be like 10 by 20-ish. Have to angle some of it, probably.
I would say with a spell like this, you don't have to use each panel if you wanted to do it fewer.
But I mean, it probably makes sense to make it 3 inches thick to get twice as much surface area, but
The one thing that I'm wondering is if you do create this, how do you intend to get out?
oh, we'd have to break through. It will be permanent once I concentrate on it long enough. We'd have to beat on it until it breaks.
Yeah, and it's not it says non-magical, so you can't use dispel magic on it.
Right. I mean, the downside is somebody could beat on it till it breaks to get in too. But I'm sort of hoping that however the users are seeing that they're used to dealing with this kind of fleshy substance, and might not detect us inside. Hey, we might have a minute to go to the Wandering Emporium once we're inside.
I mean, if nothing else, this thing will pass us like a kidney stone. It doesn't seem like a terrible idea, honestly.
In a pinch, it might work. At the moment, we're sufficiently beleaguered that I would probably say we should just go to the Wandering Emporium. And hopefully we can acquire another token to get back there again. Although I don't know actually what it cost you to get this one.
I'm trying to remember myself.
I think it was on the house, right?
The first one was.
Yeah, the first one
one-
was. This one we definitely had to pay something for.
Yeah.
Because I remember thinking that it was definitely worth the cost. But I think it was like a soul coin. I don't remember
I
exactly.
think it was 5.
Maybe. I mean, it is whatever Mike says it is. Inflation.
I'm 95% sure that it was 5 soul coins.
So I also don't remember how many soul coins we have anymore.
You have 11 and a half.
I would be fine with going back to resting at the Wandering Emporium.
Right. And it's also like a soul coin a person if we wanted to stay at the Wandering Emporium's resort.
Mm-hmm.
Is there like a motel at the Wandering Emporium that we hadn't seen?
There was some cheaper alternative, but it wasn't nearly as good.
Yeah.
I mean, what was the temperature like? Was it comfortable?
In the Wandering Emporium, no,
Just like-
not the. So wait a minute. So there are two different things. The Wandering Emporium is the city
Uh-huh.
that's on Wilfred's back. The 7 Golden Seals is the spa that is personally managed by Master Hawkins. I think that there is a budget hotel or inn. But yeah, it is hot. There's no air controlled anything. So because it's usually denizens of Fernia who are used to the heat. So they don't need to worry about the heat so much. You guys, it's a different story. Or at least some of you, since a lot of you now have resistance to fire. I think the only ones that lack it are Ewan and the branded one.
Right.
Well, right now without Pantone, I lack it too.
So Melodia's almost out of arrows. Pantone. When Pantone dies, does he vanish or is like the body still there? Or
We've said it a couple different ways. I don't know exactly. I think via the rules, he just poofs into sparkles and disappears. But we've said it a couple different ways, so
that's true. Now he's been
Well,
subsumed.
they were eating him before.
yes, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
They were using him for experimentation and then eating him, his bones specifically, mostly discarding the flesh. Since they're creatures that feed on minerals.
That had to have been a fun time for Pantone in that place. To see its other iterations.
Sounds a lot like the motel. Yeah, so I mean, I need at least I need to get a spell slot and about an hour to get Pantone back. So whether that's in a cube of stone or somewhere else, I at least need a rest to get that going again.
So my vote is Wandering Emporium.
I agree.
I'm not gonna turn it down.
Close enough. Who has the token? Turns out it's back in the vehicle.
It's in the asset pool.
I'd imagine we keep it with the other tokens in the bag of holding. Or the soul coins, rather.
Yeah, you guys can certainly have them had it in the bag of holding.
Big
I
coin
just
Or-
versus-
or in-
imagine
in
it just
Branded
hanging in
one's
the
hammer
vehicle,
stack.
like hanging
Oh.
in the vehicle like fuzzy dice. We go back, and meanwhile, Trebek has used it to go to the Wandering Emporium.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, bag of holding. I wouldn't have written it down. I got here so much later than you guys went to the Wandering Emporium. I don't think my character would have it.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't have it.
Yeah, obviously one of us has to have it.
Right.
I don't feel like it would be something that we wouldn't bring with us.
Right. Like I
Yeah.
do sort of remember Solomon made a decision about buying it, so he might have been on Solomon, but I assume that Lux would have picked that up along with this
Yeah.
other stuff.
For
Yeah.
certain. Okay. So you guys begin activating the token. It glows. It floats above the point where it was activated. There is a swirl of air as power radiates from it. And then suddenly you are all transported to the Wandering Emporium. As far as you can tell, Wilfred is currently planted. So you guys are not riding on the back of Wilfred currently. There's a great deal of bustling all about the city. You're not really noticed too quickly until suddenly you hear, "Hey guys, good to see ya. Anybody want a sody or a little Debbie's?" And Master Hawkins walks over, offering blue metal cans that are cool to the touch and round cream-filled pastry sandwiches.
Eggnog doesn't eat or drink, but he takes them and just and devours them.
Bagdog doesn't eat or drink, so it's like Cookie Monster. He just breaks them onto his face.
This tastes wet.
This tastes like dessert, or what I would imagine dessert would taste like.
So we'll end it right there.
Looking rough.
I will make a note that you guys are currently in the Wandering Emporium.
Would you like sodies? No, man, I want to go fuck asleep.
Well, now we have to decide: are we going to the spa or to the cheap hotel?
I don't need anything fancy.
Yeah, I mean, not to like metagame. What's the difference?
The spa
Um,
does give us bonuses.
Right.
Okay.
The spa is like a hero's feast almost.
Okay.
And, also just nicer, like
Yeah.
from an in-character perspective.
Yeah.
I can
Oh no.
see-
I figured that far. Yes. Yeah.
And there's always the possibility of getting upcharged services. So you could get massage, you can get like nice mud bath.
And now I guess my
You
one
also
question.
can have carnal delights because the 7 golden seals, caters to all types.
But if we all wanted to stay there, that would be like 10 of our 11.5 soul coins. So we're not spending much on
Yeah.
upcharge features.
Yeah.
So
I mean, if
how often are we coming across soul coins? Is this, since I'm pretty new to this, are those very rare, or just like we'll find a couple every once in a while type thing? Or
Seems like it's kind of sort of middling. Like sometimes
Okay.
you go for a long stretch without seeing any.
Okay.
Sometimes you get 1 or 2. Sometimes you get like a bag.
Okay.
There's like
Okay.
15 of them
Yeah.
in there.
yeah, we've gotten the most soul coins historically by selling stuff.
Okay.
Different shops in the Wandering Emporium.
Right. Giving away the magic items we otherwise will need
Yeah.
later.
Yeah, and there's also
I do have a
what was I gonna
giant
say?
bag of gems. I'm wealthy beyond the dreams of Croesus. So if they take gems,
But yeah, Frank, to your question, the soul coins are most often hoarded by the warlords that traverse the Fernia. And so the primary way of finding soul coins is by fighting and overcoming those roving bands.
Okay.
also the soul coins are actual like living souls that have
Yeah,
been
I remember
pressed
that
into
part,
these metal
yeah.
discs. So
Mhm.
it's technically incredibly unethical to use them because they wind
It's
up
pretty
getting
much slavery,
destroyed.
yeah.
Right. But you can also, didn't we at some point establish you can like break them to heal levels of exhaustion and other things that we're not using them for?
Yeah, each soul coin can be used to, like, has essentially 2 charges. Here, I'll put it up on the screen.
I remember it being very much like the South Park episode where Christopher Reeve was breaking open fetuses to suck out the stem cells and gaining superpowers as a result.
Yeah. So each coin has 2 charges. You can expend a charge to drain some of the soul's essence, healing 1 level of exhaustion. And you can also ask the soul within the coin a question. Otherwise, they're used for fuel to power the infernal war machines. So yours has been modified by it's a pop-up subpalatal, so it no longer needs soul coins.
I noticed we've never used that freeing a soul section of the description.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, when the currency is, we'll free us with whatever we have left when we get out of this goddamn place. We'll free those souls.
I mean, if we could get a, on the subject of where we're gonna stay, if we could do 1 night at the cheap place, assuming that we could get a long rest there. That would be restful, and then 1 night at the spa. We could
Yeah, before going back.
yeah. But something we can figure out.
Yeah. So thank you guys for playing. What do you guys think of the session?
Although I'm not sure if it technically made sense, Ewan's diving into the pool of acid was awesome.
Mm.
I mean, it took a long
killed that
time
motherfucker.
between turns, but even as well, yeah. And I remember thinking it was pretty awesome when I just assumed you were going to die.
I figured I would just be able to maybe kill this thing before I died. That was my goal. Oh, well, first off, when I first went into the plan, I didn't think there was going to be a fucking hole with acid in it.
Well, that was part of what made it. What I was thinking made it awesome was the multiple warnings from Mike.
Yeah, the 5.5 minutes. Yeah.
And then you're still like, nope, that's what I want to do. And then the various like littler negotiations about like, okay, I'm holding on with one hand and the boomerang in my other hand. Mike's like, wait, that means you fall in. Okay, I'm holding on with both hands then.
Yeah, I thought for sure you guys were gonna level up tonight.
Yeah.
I honestly would have allowed you. I would have been like, okay, you guys do level up tonight. if you and died, you guys were going to level up.
Guys, I tried.
Well, if I would have known that, then when he had 2 vitality points, kidney shot.
It was fun.
Good. Well, I'm glad you guys.
What is that creature like a standard one? I've never noticed it
No.
before.
And so part of the reason that it functioned the way it did was because. So here I'll where is he? Oh, did I delete him? Okay, 1 second, let me find him.
Yeah, and when I did suggest that we long rest in the hallway, I was forgetting, although Tony mentioned it earlier, that all of these ooze creatures must have blind sight. So resting in the hallway, I'm not even sure the wall of stone would block blind sight. It just might in this case for narrative reasons, because it's not what they're used to seeing through. But otherwise, they may be able to see even through stone.
Right.
Well, so this thing, and I feel fine sharing it with you guys right now. First of all, it had scab sense.
Scab sense?
Yeah. So the worm automatically knows the location of any creature that is in physical contact with the scab. And
so
then
so whatever this living thing is has worms too. Got it.
Yeah. It has a burrow speed of 60 feet, but can only move through the structures of the scab. And when moving in this way, it leaves behind no tunnel or opening. And its claspers, the thing that it was using to attack you, has a reach of 200 feet. Because the actual creature is very far, was down at the bottom of the pool of acid.
Yeah, that sucks.
Was this the same like tentacle thing I had been pulling at us on all the other holes?
Yeah.
Well, it's dead, guys. We fucking did it.
Yeah, the problem I think
This
is
one's dead.
Yeah, I mean, mentally going through that map, I think we have to go back up to that horrible abomination thing that we all avoided.
Well, you guys still haven't explored
Yeah.
south of where you currently are.
Oh, okay. There's another path. Okay. Good, because I don't want to go.
Well,
I
where
don't
you
want to go near that
currently
thing.
work, since you're
Okay.
now at the Wandering Emporium.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But it should bring us back to the same place. That would suck if it brought us back to like the vehicle and we had to go back to the mountain.
No, so
It's gonna be under that.
It's attuned to the spot where you activated it. So no matter what, when you go back, it's gonna put you where you were.
Rebecca's gonna be so mad when he finds out we went to the Wandering Emporium without him.
So
Mark and recall. Best spells in Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind.
I don't remember them. It's a long time ago.
It's you mark the spot and you cast recall and put you right back on that spot. Whenever you're doing quests in those fucking far out goddamn villages and shit, you just mark
Mm.
that spot, go do the quest, recall back to it.
Tony, do you remember how many hit points you got at 9th level?
How many I got?
Yeah.
No, I don't. I just know I'm at 100 or 102 or whatever.
Does anyone remember?
What I got, I'm sure I got 6 because that's my minimum.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why?
Because I think I've shorted myself some hit points, so I think I found I hadn't added some of them. I might have mistakenly deducted it during something and then forgot. It's not that many. I just realized I was looking at it going, this doesn't look right.
Yeah, let's see.
But I think I found where I was going through the log and I found it.
Okay.
I mean, outside of the game itself, you can view the full log, like going back all the way.
Yeah, that's what I was doing.
Yeah. So just as a reminder to everybody, when you roll hit points, you basically roll them with advantage. And so you
Right.
you roll twice, take the higher total.
Yes,
did
I
not
see.
help me
I
this-
see.
this
I
time.
see Kurt's double sixes. So
Well, thanks for playing, guys. Surprised you didn't die, but
You could still
glad
give
that
us
he
a level
didn't.
up. Come on now.
Eh,
Yeah.
Still be a-
you're not quite there yet, but I was gonna be generous if that happened because that just was too epic not to reward in some way.
And we've been attacked in the 7 golden seals before. This could still happen for you.
Yeah, I know.
How mad would you be if you're sitting there at the 7 golden seals and these oozes come from the walls?
I just
Yeah.
lay there. I'm like, all right.
That would
Just
be
on
when
me,
I
yep.
realized that would be when I realized that some creature got us and we're just hallucinating.
yeah,
The despair squid from Red
Right.
Dwarf.
It's all we're still in the dreamscape. We haven't gotten out. I was
Exactly.
thinking like how bad would it be if like Ewan dies because he like chokes on a moon pie. All right, I'll talk to you guys
All
later.
right.
Okay,
Later, everyone.
bye.
See ya.
Take it easy.